All right, we are almost alive. For those watching the replay, skip ahead 5 minutes or so. I put the little what do you call it? Little chapters when I actually do start. First 5 minutes is always letting people come in, and I am a little sick from this week, so bear with this session. All right, let's tell the world. Whoever's in here, let me know if you can hear me. The only thing I don't like about these lives is that YouTube destroys the quality. Interesting. All right, whoever's in here, let me know if you can hear me. We're going to wait 3 more minutes for more people to come in. I am recovering from being sick, so I'm going to sound pretty nasally, and I might start coughing a lot more than I usually do, randomly. And let me know if you guys can still hear me, and if you can see my screen as well. Let me know if you guys can see my screen. Type it in the chat because YouTube doesn't let you talk. All right, 1 minute to go. Whoever's not here, we'll start without him. All right, 7:05. Whoever's not here will catch the replay. All right, so as always, for those who are new here, my name is Advent. I am not a financial advisor, so anything that you see in this video or any of my content is not to be taken as financial advice. It is simply educational purposes only. Please do your research before you engage in trading because trading can be risky if you don't know what you're doing and you can lose thousands of dollars. Cool. So, before we get started, I did what, like 2, 3 trades on futures, but I'll go over my options trade first that I did today. Actually, before I go into that, when I finish my trades, if you guys want me to go over your trades as well, if you're going to give me an options trade that you want me to go over with you, please let me know the exact time you got in, how much you paid for the contract, the strike price, and the expiration date. Because if you just tell me that you got into Tesla or Nvidia, that's not telling me anything. So help me help you. Give me more information. All right, moving on. So the trade I took today on Nvidia was calls off our trigger. So once we broke above my long trigger that you guys usually see on my watch list, for those who are in my group or other groups that I post my list in, um, as soon as it broke that level, I bought market calls. Specifically, I bought um, the 126 calls expiring today. I bought them at market at, when was this? Was it on this candle? Hold on, I'll tell you right now. How much did I pay for them? All right, so I bought them at 61 cents. This was today. Yeah, there we go. So I got in on this candle. Actually, let me confirm that. 9:45 is when I got in on this candle right here. I spent 61 cents. So pretty much right here is when I got into the contracts. This is the contract price. This is the stock price over here. So I got in at 61 cents at 9:45 on this candle here. Once the candle broke above our long levels, when it hit our first target, I trimmed it at $100. So that was, I think, like 77%, something like that, at the first trim. And then my next exit, when it hit my other targets, I got out at about 120, 130. It did hit a peak of 2, but I didn't hold it that long. I just took it off at about 120-ish, so about 100% gain and change. I was happy with that in about, 20 minutes. So I took my money and I went home, as a lot of you need to do, because a lot of you guys like to hold on to your winners and let them go red. Can't be doing that. But yeah, that's pretty much the only options trade I did today. For futures, so for futures, the first trade that I took was a loss. I had a short sitting right above this wick for my retracement setup. So it was right there where I had my short. And then the extremely powerful bullish candle this morning immediately got me in and immediately stopped me out. I was very confused because before I put that trade in, price was down here like at 662. Literally like 10 seconds after I put in the trade, it fills me in and then it stops me out all in the same candle. And then the second trade that I took, this was a strat trade. So I took this short right here off this level. Well, let me go on trading views so we can see it a little better. So the other trades that I took were, so I took this short right here on this 2 down. My stop loss was halfway between this shooter candle. And then, of course, my first target was right here at the wick. So I hit my first target at the wick over there, and then I was going to take profit at about 45, 50 points next. But it came back to my entry and stopped me out for my remaining positions. And then the second trade that I took was this 2 down right here after this candle right there. And pretty much hit all the targets that I wanted. This specific one here, I caught a 90 point short. So I got out at around here. I definitely should have held that a little longer, but I'm still happy with that. And that's pretty much it. I did see this like crooked W during lunchtime at the end of the day when I came back. But besides those 3 trades on YM that I just mentioned, I wouldn't have taken this trade because it was during lunchtime, and I do not trade during lunchtime. So if I were to take this, as those who know with the W model, we're going to go along here. Once that breaks, stop loss is going to be under the bottom right of the W. This one I probably would have ignored because the stop loss is 49 points. Usually when this setup appears, the max stop loss that I've seen is like 30, 35. So anything above that, I'll probably just leave it alone. So this one I wouldn't have taken. It did hit the first target at the center of the W, which was 20 points. Not bad. It's $100 per contract. And then it got obliterated back down, and they kept on killing it. But yeah, that's pretty much all I took today. Anything that you guys took that you want me to go over? You gotta type it in the chat. Curious how you found the NVIDIA play this morning. Well, pretty straightforward. Let's go to NVIDIA. No extended hours. So if you've been following my content with the strat, again, the strat makes life very easy. So this candle here was a 2. We opened up inside, and then we broke above this high. When this candle broke above this candle, I immediately bought into calls, and then my first target was $1 away from entry. My second target was this wick. And then, of course, you could have taken profit every 50 cents to $1 that it goes in your favor. So that's how I found this specific NVIDIA trade. If you haven't studied the strat, go to my channel, my YouTube channel, go to the playlist section and study up the strat. There's literally an entire playlist of all the strat material there. Again, trading isn't that difficult strategy-wise, at least with the strat anyway. So if you're having trouble with figuring out a proper strategy, the strat is great. Absolutely, John. Mr. John Wayne. Cool. All right. Any trades that you guys want me to go over? Hey, 506, how's it going, man? For those who are just joining in, I already went over my trades. I'm going over your trades. So whatever trades you guys want me to look at that you took, please let me know in the comments. And like the video. That's all I ask. I give you guys free trade recaps and trade reviews. Just hit the like on the video. That's all I ask for. Let's see. You took the 2-2 hammer up. That was on my watch list on the Discord on ES at market open. That one was a good one. I should have taken it myself. Let's see. ES. Actually, let's go to trading view since the chart will be cleaner. All right, let's see. Regular hours. That was an amazing one, if I do say so myself. All right, so long above this level, and then short below that level. That was a nice one. Right off the hammer too. When did you take profit, Mike? You can check in your filled orders and it'll tell you when you got in and when you got out, the exact price. $5,552. That's when you got in or that's when you got out? Because this will be your entry at 5,552. You got out at 5,5. So what? You took you took 1 point gain on that move because the entry was 5,551.75. Oh wait, no. Oh no, wait. I am reading. Oh, never mind. I am completely misreading what you're saying. All right, get it together. So you got out right here. For roughly like a 3 and change point gain. Not bad. That's $150 and change in less than 5 minutes. I'll definitely take that. Although, if you would have, I would say this, to be fair. Not always will the market move crazy like this at market open. This thing literally shot up like 30 points in 40 minutes. At least, granted, I don't really look at ES like that, but you could have held on to it for a little longer. But if you're using your bracket orders, that makes sense why I would have taken you out there. But still, solid trade. I'll take $150 in 50 minutes or in 5 minutes any day. Yeah, and then your target was the first target was the wick right here, and then your second target would have been there. Yeah, solid trade. It hit your first target and you took profit and you followed the plan. That's all that matters. Because it could have easily hit target one and then got obliterated back down. So good job. All right. What other trades did you guys take that you want me to look over? You took a 3-2 hammer on YM using the 4 hour. Let's see what our good buddy Young Money has. Oh yeah, yeah. YM, the same thing. It opened up inside and then it just triggered that buy, and it went straight to heaven. Yeah, that was a nice one. If you would have went long right above that level. How many points did you catch on YM? John, I took the Nvidia trade on Thinkorswim. That's what I use to trade options. And yeah, John, when I got into that trade, I bought market to get in. That guarantees that I get in immediately and I don't get lost. You might get hit with some slippage, like $5 or $7 per contract. $5 or $7 per contract. I'm okay with that if it happens. Um, I think I took maybe like $3 of slippage when I hit market once it triggered me in. But even then, $3 is nothing. Well, let me not say it's nothing. It definitely adds up if you're using a lot of contracts, but more so for the average return that we'll be getting, it's just part of an expense for the business. Mike, what price did you get out at for YM? Also, I'm just gonna chime in and talk about a bias that I have. Whoever's using Robinhood, get off Robinhood. Use a better platform. Weeble is infinitely better. Thinkorswim, infinitely better. Do yourself a favor. Trade on a proper trading platform. Make trading easier for yourself. My personal opinion. So I keep on hearing people, oh, I'm trying to place this type of order or this type of order, and it's not working. Or I don't have the option to do it. Get off of Robinhood and get on a platform that can let you do it. 643. You got a 643? That wouldn't make sense. That's where you would have gotten in at. That means you only took $2 profit, unless there's a typo in there. Or sorry, 2 points. Well, the thing when people tell me, "Oh, Robinhood has a simple UI," to me, Weeble's UI is way cleaner than Robinhood. Mikey, check your filled orders if it shows you, because if you got out at 39643, then you only got 2 points. 86. Check when it filled you, because it might have like market. It might have when you bought market, it might have it might have filled you in a little later, but still, solid trade, super good stuff, very nice. Oh wait, whoops! I looked at somebody else's message. Yeah, that trade on. So if you took it here to 86 is 45 points. That's 225 bucks. Very nice in about 5 minutes. We'll talk later on to see if you're ready to trade live next week. I took Tesla this morning, only one contract. Actually, before I continue, I see about 7 people just joined in the last 3 minutes that I've been talking. If you just got in here, hit the like button because we got 5 likes and we got 12 people in here. I need the participation to be at least above 50%. I'm giving you free game. Give me free likes. An even exchange. All right. So I took Tesla this morning, only one contract, sold right away because it is too volatile up and down. Let's look at Tesla, our good old buddy. Oh, when did you get into Tesla? And was it a call or was it a put? For those who are going to give me your trades, I need you to tell me the exact time you got in, the exact price you paid for the contract, and the strike price and the expiration date. Because if you tell me you got into Tesla with one contract, that doesn't tell me anything, and I can't help you. I need more details. While you're getting that information, I'll read John's question. How much money did you start trading when I was seriously, or when I started trading seriously? So how do I answer that question? Because I guess I was serious when I first started trading 4 years ago. I will say this. So when I first started, Jesus, when I first started trading, I started with like 200 bucks. I bought Boeing stock as my friend recommended, and I pretty much doubled my money. And then I'm like, oh, all right, this is a money printer by just pressing a button. And then from there, I put like $600 into my account, shredded half of that on one trade. And then I would say from then on, I started taking trading seriously. So I had about, with the money that I deposited into my account, I would say it was about $2,000 of my own money. That first win always hooks you. Absolutely, bro. The first one's always free. Um, so I put 2,000 of my own money. I turned that to like $48,850. And I will tell you the story on why I remember that for tomorrow's class at 5 p.m. Eastern, which I'll remind everybody about later on. But yeah, 2,000 of my own money. I took that to 48.8K, and then I withdrew most of it. And then I restarted at 5,000. And then every time I would get to 10,000, I'll take everything out, start back at 5,000 and do that for a while. If I were to start brand new as a trader, I would say for me, $500 is a good starting point. It gives you, I'll probably only use one contract until I get to 1,000 though, because you don't want to leverage too high because you don't have that much room for error with 500 bucks. My go-to, if I were to start with 500 bucks, would be IWM, because the contracts aren't as expensive. They don't move as volatile as SPY or QQQ and stuff like that. And the one DTEs are pretty cheap compared to SPY and QQQ. Also, for that's if I was going to start options. If I were going to start brand new, like a fresh trader, I would definitely start with futures, because with futures, you don't need to worry about theta decay or none of that. It's literally you just buy and then you just wait. Your position's not going to lose value just because price is chopping sideways. It's like buying regular stock. If you buy it, you make money when it goes up from your entry, or you lose money when it goes under your entry. That's futures in a very, very, very simple way. Please do your research though, because futures requires margin, and you can lose more than you put in your account. Yeah, futures are taxed at a more favorable tax rate than options, so that's always a plus as well. Thank you, John. Appreciate that. Which way are you leaning on NVIDIA for next week based on the chart? Let's see what NVIDIA has for us. I'm going to say bullish because the yearly is a Shrek candle. The quarterly is another Shrek candle. The monthly is green, but it looks like they're selling it off. The weekly did reverse. I will say that. So the weekly reversed bearish. So we have some conflict because the weekly reversed, but it closed green as a failed two down. A failed two down just means that instead of closing red when it reversed bearish, it closed green. So this could just be a reversal back to the upside to go to all-time highs. Let's check the daily. Daily closed as a three down. So we'll have to see what happens. Definitely conflict on the higher and lower time frames, or the day trading time frames anyway. So you could definitely, I'll definitely go short below this level if I were to short it on Monday. Let's actually look at this on Thinkorswim because I have my broadening formations drawn on it. That's not what I want. All right, let's go on the 4 hour. All right, so we keep on hanging around this broadening formation right here. This is a daily BF. Keeps on bouncing near that level and inside this fair value gap if you trade ICT stuff. So we'll have to see what happens. We'll see what happens on Monday. We might get a bounce off here, and then, we reverse higher to try to hit these levels up here and take out these highs to the left. We would have to clear these broadening formations here, as well as take out this week's low to head lower. And then if we do break the week's low and clear through these broadening formations, we're probably going to look to go back to 107, which I hope that we do because I want to get more for my long-term portfolio, and I don't want to buy at these prices. But yeah, NVIDIA, overall, higher time frames, bullish, shorter time frames, bearish, just a little mixed messages based on the time frames. So we'll just have to see what next week has in store for us. Let's see. It gapped up, so you didn't follow the watch list, and you got a 200 call on Tesla. All right, Erwin. So did you FOMO into that trade? Because if you didn't follow the watch list, then I need to know what the idea behind the trade is, and what did you pay for it when you got in, and what did you pay, or what did you get when you got out of it? What was the gain or loss? Let's go on the 5 minute. This was today. $230 profit. Nice. Wait, $230 profit. 68 per contract. So you got it at 68, if I'm understanding that correctly. Let's see. Oh, whoops, this is NVIDIA. That's why I'm confused. All right, let's go to Tesla. So we got the 200 call. Let's send that to blue. All right. And I needed to stop showing this ugly purple line, please. Oh, no. So you paid wait. You paid 230 for the contract. So you got in on this first candle here at 230. And then it came all the way down. So 230, and it came down to 144. 230 minus 144, that's 86. That's 20, that's 40. That's 40% loss. I wouldn't have taken that trade. Or I would have been stopped out of that trade. 40% is too much. It'll be silly to risk 40% to make what was that, 30%? 25%? Something like that? What was the idea behind the trade? Did you chase it or what? All right. Time out. Stop the presses. At open, I saw it going up and I took it right away. What does that even mean? Watching something go up or down at market open is not a strategy. What was your entry and what was your stop loss if you had any, and what were your targets? If you do not have those three items, then you were gambling on that trade. And gambling's the surefire way to blow your account and lose all your money. I'm seeing also, before I continue and say what I'm about to say, anything that I say here is out of love and because I want you guys to succeed in this. So if I sound harsh, just know that it's just me being honest, and I want you guys to be where you need to be. Anyway, with that out of the way, so I'm seeing this is a recurring pattern with you, that you will get into a trade at open because, oh, it went up at open or it went down at open. Oh, I didn't have a stop loss. That comment is hilarious. I won't read it for the people who are watching the replay. Anyway, so what I need you to do, because clearly it's not working. Where is this? Make your set of rules, print it out, and put it in your desk or on your desk. There's no excuses for you to be like, oh, my rules were in my journal, or they were in my book, or they were on a file on my computer, blah, blah, blah. Print your rules, put them in front of you. That way you're always watching them and you're always seeing them. Because again, I'm seeing, and again, I've been there. Man, tomorrow's class is going to be so good. I'm going to be going over all of this stuff. So remember, if you want to succeed as a trader, you can't continue to do the same mistakes and expect a different result. Today, it's actually bad that you won that trade because the problem with winning a trade that was not part of a plan, you're conditioning your brain to take crappy setups or gamble, and then you'll think that it's going to come out fine. For example, today you got in because you were chasing the trade with no plan, and you won. That's bad. That's not a good trade. Even though you made money, because now you're training your brain. Oh, if it goes up at market open, I'll just buy calls or I'll just buy puts if it's going down. That's not sustainable at all. And that's not a strategy that's consistent. Um, so, if you want to succeed in trading, you need to stop those bad habits and you need to have discipline. And I always tell people it doesn't matter what I tell you, it doesn't matter what you read or all these magical books that are going to give you the secret answer. At the end of the day, you need to apply what you're learning and what you're reading. Because I can tell you exactly what to do. My watch list literally tells everybody when to get in and when I'm taking profit. The stop loss I leave up to you guys to figure out, since people use different stop losses. The max loss I take on a trade is 30%. So if it's more than that, I'll leave it alone. But again, if you want to succeed in this, you need to put into practice what is going to help you succeed. Because if you're still doing the same mistakes that you've been doing 3 years ago, then you got to take a step back from trading and really talk to yourself, because this is not sustainable. I'll tell you that from experience. All right, let's see. What's your risk management like for entry and stop loss for my options trade? Well, I already mentioned that a little bit. Like my stop loss will be 50% or 30%, but what you can also do, like I mentioned in the strat video, let's say for example for Tesla today. So we triggered a 312 up. All right. So your stop loss could either be under the trigger candle, whatever that price was. It's probably it's probably going to be off because this candle already closed. So it could either be under the trigger candle. This two up is the trigger candle. It can be halfway through the setup candle, which is the one bar, or it can be under the setup candle right here, which would be I forgot what I was saying. So 50% of the previous candle, which is the setup candle, the trigger candle stop loss, which is right here, and then the setup candle for your stop loss, which is right there. You can use any of those three or whatever you prefer. Looking at this morning, assuming you chased this trade and didn't let it at least come near entry. So this trade triggered, it opened up about $1 away. I would have left Tesla alone today. Well, actually, I did leave Tesla alone because it already gapped up pre-market and was hitting two of my targets. So I left it alone. I really, really hate when stocks gap up or down. Granted, we can take TTOs to get in on the trend, but just personal preference. I'll just leave it alone like I did with Tesla today. Because if my entry is here at 178 or 198, let's say, just to make math simple, and it's opening up at $1.30 away, I'm increasing my risk because I'm getting in way later than I wanted to. So for the sake of the conversation, instead of your stop loss being $1.50 against you on the contract, now your stop loss is $3 against you, or almost $3. So you're doubling your risk by chasing trades. Again, the market isn't going anywhere. There's going to be other trades to take. We should never feel like we need to chase after a trade. And even if you want to chase after a trade, if there's going to be a trend day, a TTO is going to form. You just have to wait. For example, The 5 minute didn't really give a clean TTO, but if I look at the 15 minute, we have a clean one here that it completed the TTO, but it failed. It turned into an M instead. So we have the push up, the pull down, and then the reversal back up into continuity. In this case, it didn't head higher. It got rejected and got killed back down, but it still completed the TTO there. So for this trade, I would have went long here. My stop loss would have been under this candle right there. I probably would have sized down on this trade because $1.70 on a TTO is very steep for what I'm used to on Tesla. The first target was about 91 cents away, almost $1. Not bad. And then it just got killed back down. So in this case, like I mentioned before, my stop losses for TTOs is usually under the setup candle like this. You could have used 50% of the previous candle like this, or you could use this trigger candle as your stop like that. So even with these options here, you still have a decent risk reward, especially if it continued heading higher. If it were a trend day, which it would have. In this case, it wasn't a trend day. It just got killed back down. I think we have some broadening formations there. Yep. Speaking of which, I got to draw that later on. Yep. So we came above this BF. They tried to take it higher, and it just kept on getting rejected near this weekly BF level. So we'll see what happens on Monday. We're either going to reverse and head back to hit this level, or we're going to hit this level down here at 192. We'll see. All right. So we shouldn't wait for the strat stop loss trigger if it's a high percentage. Well, that depends. Like I mentioned in other videos, if you do the math quickly on what the delta is and then what the price is that you're getting in on the contract, then you can just size down. Because let's say for the sake of the conversation, I get 3 contracts at 100, and my max loss on that trade is 30%, which is about I don't really want to do math accurately right now, so let's just say $90. Actually, no, that is 30%. Yeah, $90 for my stop loss. That's 30% loss. On the entire position. But let's say your stop loss might be 40% or 50%. You can just size down, so you can still get a similar dollar loss compared to if you were to go full size, but you give your trade a little more room to run. Me personally, if it's going to go more than 30%, I'll just let the trade go. Even if it ends up being a winning trade, I'm just super picky with my trades, and if it doesn't meet exactly what I want, I just leave it alone. Because again, tomorrow's going to be another day, and there's going to be better there'll be better setups. Something that I will mention, Ro, because I know you trade contracts that are usually a little cheaper. If the contract's like $40, I'll probably take a 50% loss because that's $20 per contract. As opposed to, if I'm paying like $300 a contract, then I'm definitely going to be a lot more picky, and I'm not going to let that go 50% red. So I'll be a little more lenient with my stop loss and risk if the contracts are super cheap. Like if I'm getting a contract for $20, I'm not going to stop out at $17. I'll probably stop out like at 15 or 12 or something like that, depending what's going on. I haven't traded contracts like that in a while, but that's just what I would do. How do you get the strat numbers on Thinkorswim Mobile? When you figure that out, please let me know, because I have not figured out how to put it on TOS Mobile. I've only ever had it on my desktop. if it's a gap up or down 2 or 3 points out of the watch list, what should you do? Step 1, don't chase the trade. Step 2, wait for a TTO. That's it. That's all you got to do. I've been telling you guys in the pin section, I also have a video that says what happens if we miss entry. We look for a TTO. If the TTO doesn't appear, we don't do anything. Because remember, as traders, we are fishermen and we're waiting for the fish to come to us. We're not jumping in the water in a pond and trying to catch the fish. So we're throwing out our bait and we're waiting. Once it gets hooked, we reel the money in. The biggest thing about being a trader is patience. I always tell people who are new to trading, stay off of TikTok and all of those like influencer trader people, because they try to make trading look cool. Trading is extremely boring. Ridiculously boring. This is what trading is like. All right, you get on the charts and then you do this. And then you press a button and then you go back to doing this. And then you press the button to get out of the trade and then you go back to doing this. And that's what trading is like. So when you see these videos, people are like, yeah, hit this thing, jumping around everywhere. Sure, you can celebrate, but celebrate when you're done trading, because being in that elated state is very bad for your trading, especially if you start getting hyped and you think you're invincible. That's when mistakes happen and you get very loose with your rules and risk management. So trading is super boring. It's not fun. The money's fun when you get to spend it and, make more money. Absolutely. But the act of trading, super boring. All right. Any other trades that you guys took that you want me to look over? For those who just came in that have not been here from before or earlier from in the session, if you're going to send me a trade, let me know. If it's an option trade, let me know what time you got in exactly, when you got out, your strike price, your expiration date, and how much you paid. I think I already said how much you paid for the contract. Of course, John, my pleasure. Also, tomorrow I'm gonna have my I'm gonna have like a 2 or 3 hour class. It might be shorter, it might be longer. It really depends how much I talk and how many topics I want to go over. But essentially, I'm gonna be going over my story. I think my first video I ever made on this channel was like about self-sabotage. I'm going to be going over self-sabotage and how it comes up in your trading and what it looks like. And of course, ways that you can combat that. I'm going to be going over how trading can negatively affect you in the sense of like how you view yourself, financial issues, relationships, unhealthy habits that you may build or neglect or create. Pretty much going over my story in a lot more detail than I've explained before. We're going to get vulnerable. So if you can come by, fantastic. If not, you can definitely catch the replay. It'll be live on YouTube, so feel free to pop in and out if you want to. I'm just pretty much going to be talking to myself for the most part. But if you guys do want to ask me questions and, share your experiences, that will be great as well. But yeah, and I'll also be going over a practice that my own one of my mentors helped me with that got me to pretty much get to where I am right now in my life, which will be very, very beneficial for you guys. So keep an eye out for that. All right. More trades, please. It can be options trades, futures trades, regular stock trades, doesn't matter. I would say crypto trades if you want, since I do trade crypto, but very, very rarely. Type it in the chat. All right, if I don't get anything in the next minute or two, it looks like there are no more questions, and we'll wrap up. Give it another 2 minutes, and then I'll ask you guys the question. The question, the question that I always ask you guys. When you see a TTO, sometimes it reverses. Hey, welcome to trading. It's not going to work all the time. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Your only job is to take the trade, and that's it. Like today, if I would take this 212 up on the 15-minute, it could have triggered me in and it could have died right back down. But this trade was a winning trade since it hit the first target right here, and then it reversed back down. On ES, you got in on 5560.7. Oh yeah, the 15-minute trade that you took. Let's look that one up. And then we'll wrap it up after this one. 5560. Oh, so you took this two down? If you took this two down here, yeah, that's near where you mentioned that you got in at. Your numbers are off. Did you lose that trade or did you win that trade? Because if you got in at 5560 and you went short and you got out at 62, then that was a loss. And if it is a loss, that's okay too. Yeah, because if you went short and you got in at 5560 and you got out at a price above where you entered in, then that was a loss. Unless you meant 5570 and not 5560. So you probably would have entered somewhere up here and then you took profit somewhere down here at this candle, which was a nice trade. That was what, 5571 to 62. It's about 9 points. My goal when I traded ES was 10 points a day. So that's a solid trade right there. So you sold 2 points later. So you got in around here and then you sold pretty much like near this candle or right below it. If this was a strat trade, just be careful, because if you get in here, your loss is going to be above this candle or halfway through the candle, and you would be risking with a 63. That's what, 5 points. You're risking $250 to make $100. It's not really good risk reward. So just be mindful of the specific trades that you take. But still, great job. It did hit target pretty much right under this candle, so not bad. I just would have been aiming probably for this one right down here, or this body. Either one of those would have been fine. Cool. All right. So as we wrap up, what was everybody's biggest takeaway from today's session? And what are you going to be doing next week to improve? Definitely follow your rules. Remember, as I always tell everybody, the money comes from your disciplines and your system. You don't make money and then you follow your rules. You personally need to write up a trade plan. Absolutely. Before you get into a trade, you must know, I would argue, exactly when you're going to get in. Of course, doesn't have to be exact most of the time, but have a plan when you're going to get in, what your targets are, where your stop loss is going to be, more or less. Of course, as with us as strat users, for those who do trade the strat, you know, where, how do I say this? Our stop losses could vary trade to trade, right? But for the most part, you still want to have a proper trading plan. Because for those of you who get emotional, the brain is not designed to be in uncertain situations, which is what trading is. But when you have a plan, everything is a little more certain for yourself. All right, I'm going to get in here. If it hits my targets, I'm going to make $200. If it hits my stop loss, I'm going to lose $80. Even though you still don't know if it's going to win or lose, at least now you know how much you're going to make or lose, give or take. So you can put your mind a little at ease. So yeah, definitely write up a trade plan, follow your rules. If you don't have rules, definitely create them. If you don't journal your trades, journal your trades. I'm going to be going over all of this in a lot of detail tomorrow. So, and again, some people might get triggered. It is what it is. I've been there. I've done it. I'm telling you, and I'll be sharing my experiences. You're not the only one. But you really have to make sure that you change your patterns. As one of my mentors told me, if you have crappy patterns, you're going to get crappy results. That's with anything. If you eat garbage, you're going to feel like garbage. So, any other big takeaways and things that you guys are going to improve for next week before we end this? Oh man, I wonder if the chat's a little delayed. Who knows? But yeah, thank you all for coming by. For those who did miss most of the session, you may not see it on like my main page on the YouTube. Sometimes YouTube like posts the live videos just in the live category. So be sure, if you do want to see the replay, it's this exact same link that you used to join. And it's in the live section in the YouTube channel. So you can see the the recordings and the replays and all that good stuff. Appreciate all of you for coming by and spending your Friday, at least an hour of your Friday with me and going over some trades. Again, thank you all for watching, for liking, subscribing. I appreciate every single like, every single subscription. Again, I'm very grateful. I appreciate you guys. If it weren't for you guys, I definitely would not be here. So, thank you guys for that. But yeah, for those who didn't catch it in the beginning, remember that tomorrow I'm going to have another class at 5 p.m. Eastern. It's probably going to go for like 2-3 hours long, maybe a little shorter, maybe a little longer. Feel free to stop in. It'll be on YouTube. I'm gonna have another live like I did today. So if you can drop by, that would be great. If not, that's okay too. You can catch the replay. But yeah, thank you guys again for stopping by, and I will see y'all tomorrow and on the internet. Have a good night. Have a fantastic weekend.